for Ellis.
Damn, this card. Let me mute this. Hold on, I apologize. This card is moving. So Ellis Zorro just got his ass fucking slapped by Opetaia, the best cruiserweight in the world, former cruiserweight champion, because he had to drop his belt because Ellis Zorro was not ranked by the IBF. But in my personal opinion, in the video me and Big J did before this, personally feel that Mirror's Breeders wanted some step aside money from the Saudis. But like, dude is the real deal. Like, this dude is really good. However, when that time comes, if he eventually decides to step up to heavyweight, he's in that next generation of heavyweights. For example, he'll never see a Usyk, a Fury, a Wilder, or a Joshua. And he's on the smaller end. Remember, these heavyweights are huge. And by the way, fuck the Bridgerweight division. I don't, care nothing about that. Let me see what Big J's doing to get him on the line to talk about the fight. Take a time out, like the video, subscribe. But yeah, the first 3 fights on this card all ended in stoppage. All ended in stoppage. And by the way, this card is moving. I like when they don't have a whole bunch of filler in between fights. Here is the, let me show you the knockout. Ooh, so he went, that was a classic ass move. He went for a jab to the body, it looks like. Let me see if I can, look, he's fucked up down there. You can't get no cleaner than that. You can't get no cleaner than that. Look, he's stretched. We go full screen. Yeah, he was asleep on the way down. Damn, got guillotined on the ropes. That's a sick thumbnail. Let's see what Big J's doing. Let me see if I can ring him and we're going to listen to the post-fight interview and see what's next. So he's saying he wants to go back and recapture his IBF title. It's looking like Mirror's Breeders is going to fight Gilberto Ramirez for the IBF title. And then I'm guessing he'll double back and fight the winner. Or should he go for maybe the WBC or another belt? Let's listen into the particulars. So let's mute that. That will get you copyrighted. But this card is moving. It's about 9 p.m. over in Australia. It's about 9 p.m. over in Saudi Arabia. It's 12:38 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right now, here just outside of Philadelphia.
Of round number 1, your winner by way of technical knockout and still undefeated, Jai Opetaia.
Not surprisingly, Ellis Zorro can't help but applaud.
But yeah, he is the best cruiserweight in the world, in my opinion. And I'm talking about, let me tell you something. He already beat Breeders. Now some can say, let's be critical here. Some can say that Breeders didn't take Opetaia seriously because at the end, he started coming on strong at the very end of the fight and broke Opetaia's jaw in 2 places. I'm talking about some pretty much mandible hanging on by pretty much tendons and skin, like shit just dangling down. So Breeders is not to be played with. Dude is good. He is not to be played with. And he had a really good fight at the end of the World Boxing Super Series against Alexander Usyk. Let's listen to the post-fight interview.
Jai, congratulations. I think if you were looking for an example of your explosiveness, we just saw it in the ring right now. Was this the performance that you were looking for?
Yeah, I trained for 12 rounds. I was prepared for 12 rounds. And if the knockout comes, it comes.
Take me through that knockout shot, because it was a pretty quiet round up until that point for you when you landed that big punch.
Yeah, he was very hesitant. He wasn't engaging much. But he was a bit too hesitant and he got clipped. So that's just how it goes.
This has been a strange week for you. You land in Saudi Arabia as the IBF champion. You step into the ring without your world title belt. Did you take some of that frustration into the ring tonight?
I did, but look at this place. It's beautiful. I'm happy to be here, happy to perform in front of the Saudi Arabian people. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Chief. Your Excellency. Man, I'm pumped. First round knockout, I'm ready for the next fight.
What have the last 18 months meant to you? Because you knew for a long time you had the talent to be on this level. Over the last 18 months, you've gotten bigger and better opportunities in terms of opponents and on stages like this.
The last 18 months is just all part of the journey. You know what I mean? I'm here, I'm in the ring. This is all that matters. You know, that's all in the past and it's all built to where I am now. So I'm just excited to be here and I'm excited for the next step.
All right, so what is that next step? Because you're unquestionably the #1 guy in the cruiserweight division, with or without a world title right now around your waist. Do you want to go get your old title back? Do you want a different one? What's on your mind?
Man, these dudes put the people in front of me and I just knock them out, so that's what I got to do.
Congratulations, Jai.
Thank you very much.
Eddie, we're going to turn to you. He said he kind of put the onus on you there to find something for him next. What'd you think of that performance, and what can you do with a guy like that?
Yeah, you're talking about already, I believe, a pound-for-pound talent. You know, you got a guy in Alexander Usyk that became undisputed in the cruiserweight division, moved up and became unified in the heavyweight division. I believe Jai is going to do exactly the same thing. He should be standing here as IBF world champion, but it doesn't matter because everybody knows, every fight fans know, he's the #1 cruiserweight in the world. We'd love to be back here in Saudi Arabia in the first quarter of next year and win a world championship. I'd like to see him become undisputed in a cruiserweight division before he moves up to the heavyweight division, and that is inevitable. This is one of the most exciting fighters on the planet.
Appreciate it, Eddie. Guys?
So it's looking like he's going to be back. Joshua Wilder is supposed to be signed. If they win tonight, they're supposed to fight in March. So it's looking like Jai is going to be on that undercard. And he's talking about moving to heavyweight. That's going to be interesting. Let's take a little bit of a jump cut and wait for Big J to call. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at TstreeT Controversy and Big J at Old Mate Big J. All right, we got Big J on the line. Yeah, he didn't fuck around. What'd you think about the fight?
Well, what's really to think? I mean, he didn't fuck around. The only thing I could actually say is that he probably could have ended that in about 90 seconds, because when he first rocked him, he did the same thing again against Thompson, and he backed off and let him off the hook.
Yeah.
That's the only one criticism that I could give of Jai Opetaia, is that if you've got someone rocked or hurt or stunned, don't let him off the hook. Jump on him, because you might not get a second opportunity. Right?
You know what I like is that he knocked out these lower level competition.
That's right. Yeah, I mean he didn't just knock him out; he fucking destroyed him.
Yeah, he was slept.
So,
Zorro was asleep. He was sleeping with his eyes open. We played the replay during the video. Like, he was going on his way down.
Exactly.
We did talk about earlier in the week. The video's up where we talked about basically the IBF situation. And surprisingly, Eddie Hearn was talking about, basically, he's supposed to be back. If you didn't hear the post-fight interview, he's supposed to be back, likely on the undercard of Joshua Wilder in March, if they both win tonight. So the question is, who does he fight? And, you know, I'm thinking, we talked about it, I'm thinking that he's not going to go after the IBF. He's going to go after another belt. Because remember, now that he's been stripped, he's ranked by all the sanctioning bodies. He's going to be ranked.
Yeah, I think he'll probably go after WBC, which is politically the easiest one to obtain.
Yeah, I think that's where it's going too. But hopefully, you know, I like the fact that he's been active. You know, he did get his 2 fights in this year. After coming off of that injury, and then remember we talked about, you know, when he beat Breedis, and he had his jaw broken, he couldn't talk and really capitalize off of that. What people would consider an upset of the year at the point in time, especially with his performance. So I'm glad that he's come back and he's producing knockouts to try to keep the momentum he had going.
Yeah, exactly.
But we talked about Breedis is supposed to be fighting Gilberto Ramirez. That's what Breedis posted on his social media account, that they're in negotiations to fight sometime in February. But yeah, as it's looking right now, I don't think he's going to go back down the IBF route anymore. I don't think that. I think he'll double back to try to collect that to be undisputed. But I think that he's either going to go for the WBA or the WBC seems more likely. And the WBO, there's too much politics there. You know, we already seen that with the Richard Riakporhe fight that they try to make, the Masterneck fight that they tried to make. You know, it's just too much going on over there. And also the WBO is Lawrence O'Colly has his rematch clause that he's supposed to be fighting next. But what are your thoughts before the next fight is rolling out? And this Saudi card is moving. There's not too many filler in between these fights. But your thoughts, closing?
Jai Opetaia actually joins a pretty elite Australian class. Blokes who made a shitload of money in less than a round. Remember when Jeff knocked out Mundine for like $4 million?
Yeah.
Paul Gallen knocked out Lucas Brown, made like $1.5 million. I think he just made $600,000.
Yeah.
Something like that, didn't he? So good for him. I mean, that's a very easy payday. He can go home and buy a house now. So, well, actually, not on the Gold Coast where he lives. $600,000 won't buy a bloody block of land. But anyway, no, fantastic. You can just see. I think Jai was actually. He looked pissed. Did he look pissed off to you? Because he looked pissed off.
He
to me
did.
in that
He
fight.
did. I noticed it during the press conference. You could tell he's bitter about losing his belt.
Yeah, obviously, and I can't believe the IBF did that shit. I mean, come on. I mean,
For real.
Seriously. And not just to him. I mean, they. As I said, what they did to Crawford and what they've been doing over the last,
But to the
18
defense
months or so,
of the IBF, as we talked about, Zorro wasn't ranked. You know.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, for the, they fucked around Barker and Matazaliev and Charlo for 4 bloody years.
Yeah.
I mean,
they haven't been consistent.
They couldn't let Jai slide on this one.
Yeah, they haven't been consistent. And by the way, Zorro is ranked by the WBA, by the way, just not by the IBF. It's the only sanctioning body he's ranked with is the WBA.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no if that's maybe this bloke was a bottom feeder, but I mean, still, I mean, you couldn't let. Sorry for blasphemy. You couldn't let him slide on this one. I mean, bloody hell.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. So. Go ahead.
As the IBF do they think that they seem too soft about something? Has someone said something in their board meeting and they're like, nah, we need to stricken ourselves up or something? Because
well,
I don't know why the IBF are doing it.
As I've been looking at their history, especially as of the last few years, they seem to show favoritism towards the PBC. They'll let PBC fighters hold on to those belts. Or hold on to that belt, but when it comes to outside organizations, we've been seeing some shady work. However, the IBF has been notoriously against rematch clauses. They don't care about none of that. I remember it happened. There was a situation with Frotch versus Groves, and then Tyson Fury versus Klitschko rematch as well, which ended up never happening. But lately,
I remember that.
But what they did with Opetaia, Boots Ennis and Murtazaliev, it's showing well, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Inconsistent.
Yeah, it's very inconsistent. Very inconsistent. With that being
said, let me ask you one question.
Yeah.
One question before we go. They mentioned in commentary that he's a pound-for-pound fighter. I disagree. He's knocked out a couple of low-level guys. What do you think he has to do to get there? Because I reckon he has to win at least 2 more belts before he's on the pound-for-pound list.
Well, here's the thing. I'm thinking because he beat Breedis. That put him up there. I would rate Opetaia. I would say off the top of my head, top 15 pound for pound, maybe top 12. This is just off the top of my head. Because if we look at the cruiserweight division right now, in my opinion, he is the best cruiserweight. He can beat Noel Giever. He can beat Badu Jack. And I have been doing more and more research on Urslan Gulamari, and he can beat him, and he can beat Chris Billum-Smith and Lawrence O'Colly for sure, and Richard Riakporhe. I would pick him against.
No, he can beat all of them.
Yeah.
He can beat. Let's not jump to conclusions. He's actually got to prove in the ring first.
True.
So he has the ability to beat all of them, but he hasn't done it yet. So let's not Let's not get too excited.
Yeah, so I'm going to be interested to see what his next fight is going to be and who it's going to be. Because now he can fight whoever he wants. He doesn't have a belt.
Exactly. But yes, and the problem with the cruiserweight division, it's always been a weaker division.
It has.
So, besides Holyfield and
it's been
Usyk, name me
for about 20 years, give or take, right? Like 25, since
more like 30.
It has been, right? Since Holyfield.
From Holyfield to Usyk, name someone in the cruiserweight division of men.
Exactly, because even Roy Jones, he kind of skipped the cruiserweight division until later on in his career. That's when he was losing to everybody. So yeah, the cruiserweight division it's been weak, weak.
But all the more easier for a Jai to take it over. And one more thing I want to mention: geez, he makes weight easy. He doesn't even come in at 199. He comes in at 198 point something.
Yeah, no issue. And that's why I have concerns about him at a heavyweight. But we talked about it before.
No.
He's not going to see the new heavyweights coming up. They're on the smaller end. He's not going to never see a Tyson Fury, a Usyk, a Wilder, or a Joshua. Those guys are going to be going by that time.
No, he doesn't need to go to bloody heavyweight. I don't understand what the bloody obsession is with. Well, I do, because Holyfield and Usyk, there's the obsession with cruiserweights going up to heavyweight. It's because and to a lesser extent Michael Mora, because wasn't he undisputed before he moved up to heavyweight? He was a pretty good cruiserweight as well, wasn't he?
Who?
Michael Mora, the bloke that George Foreman knocked out.
I don't remember if he was undisputed at that time when you had all three belts. I don't remember at that time.
No, he wasn't when he fought George, but wasn't he a pretty good cruiserweight?
Yes, he was.
As well?
I remember that. Yeah, he was.
Yeah. So there's three blokes there, but that's three blokes in 30 years. So, you can't really put three blokes who are phenomenal boxers in a trend that cruiserweights can be successful heavyweights. No, they can't. And Jai just doesn't seem like his frame can carry that sort of extra bulk. So
Michael Moore was a smaller heavyweight, but no, he was a good light heavyweight, not cruiserweight.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, he's a blown up light heavyweight. That's why George knocked him the fuck out. So, but anyway, yeah. So I would like him to stay as far away from the heavyweight division as possible until he becomes undisputed at cruiserweight, and then we'll see how that. And that's going to take what? At least 2 years to achieve.
Yeah. And he can reign and be undisputed at cruiserweight. He can, I can see him becoming undisputed. That's the path to go, because right now, what if he moves up to heavyweight? Then he's going to be way back in the queue. Mandatories are so lined up right there, and all of the belts are tied up until at least 2025. At least 2025.
Well, exactly, because if he becomes undisputed, he'll get the WBO belt, and then when he moves up, then he's automatically mandatory for the WBO belt. So he's got to get a hold of that WBO belt before he moves up to heavyweight, because that way at least he'll be a mandatory challenger.
Yeah. So we will be back. Wait, what's the next fight? We got a fight coming up. Let's let the viewers know. What's the next fight we got coming up? We got something coming up, right? January?
Oh, yeah, Jason Maloney, two fights actually on the same card. Jason Maloney versus, I can't remember old mate's name, in Jason Maloney's first WBO defense.
Got you. And then also we're waiting for a Tim Tszyu announcement, and the announcement is a little far off, but the announcement for also Kambosos and Loma. All right, yeah. So what we will do is...
And Rowan Murdoch's on that same card as Jason, so got to give him a mention.
So what we will do, you will be hearing from us likely at the very end of 2023 or at the very beginning of 2024 for the next Australian Boxing podcast. We've been pretty active with Australian boxing the last couple of months or so. With that being said, take your time out, like the video, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at TstreeT Controversy and Big J at Old Mate Big J. Just the letter J, not J-A-Y. See you guys later. Thanks for watching.